As a working mom, you know how chaotic life can feel. Balancing work, family, self care, probably a side business, and everything in between. Today, I am sharing three of my favorite time management systems and routines that will help you feel more organized, more in control, and less stressed to streamline your life as a working mom. I'm Laura Davis. I'm a time management strategist, and I specialize in helping women balance their corporate career, side hustles, and motherhood. These three systems have been game changers for me, and I'm really excited to share them with you today. So let's get into it. But first, before we get started, if you are ready to take your time management to the next level, I want you to check out my free Master Your Workweek challenge at thelauraddavis.com/workweek. You're going to get a simple framework to take control of your to-do list and master your Monday through Friday. All right, now let's dive into this week's episode. So I am all about systems, routines, rhythms that you can easily incorporate into your life to streamline things. So this is going to be a couple of my favorite ones that I really hate the cliche game changer, but I actually mean it in this scenario. Like, these literally were game changers for me when I implemented them. So the first one is a meal planning and prepping. I'll call it rhythm, because routine, maybe, I guess you can use that interchangeably, but this is more like a system, if I'm being honest. So the way that I have my meal planning and prepping system worked out is that every Thursday I meal plan. Now, right now, I am working with a hired nutritionist. She is a clinical nutritionist, so she develops my meal plans for me. But inevitably, there is something that I don't like because I'm such a picky eater. So I do have to go in and make edits and adjustments. And I have to do that based on the macros that she has me following and the type of foods based on my cycle and where I'm at in it. So there is some adjustment. There's some work that has to be done because I'm so picky. So I do all of that on a Thursday. I do all of my meal planning on a Thursday. Now, if I have time on that Thursday, I will go ahead and make a grocery list. But sometimes, a lot of the time, I don't have time to meal plan and do my grocery list. So the next morning on Friday mornings, or at some point on Friday that I have an open window, I will do a grocery order. Now, usually, sometimes I use the Kroger app. Sometimes I use the Instacart app for Publix. It really just depends on what the prices are, what I'm getting, that type of thing. But I usually fluctuate between those two things. So I will put a grocery order in on Fridays to be delivered sometime on Saturday based on our schedule. So if Harper has games in the morning, for whatever sport she's doing, normally her games are on Saturdays, I will have the groceries delivered Saturday evening. Sometimes if it's a really busy weekend, just in general, like Memorial Day weekend, that type of thing, sometimes Saturdays will be booked, so I'll move it to Sunday morning. So I order my groceries on Friday to be delivered on Saturday. Now, the final piece of that system is that I actually prep my food Sunday afternoons into the evening, depending on our schedule. So if you're following this, to put it simply, Thursday is meal planning, Friday is grocery ordering, Saturday is grocery delivery, and Sunday is meal prepping. Now, the reason that I do this is because I don't have 2 hours to go to a grocery store. There are weeks where I want to go to a grocery store because sometimes I just like going to a grocery store by myself and buying groceries and seeing them and being in a store. So there are weeks that I will go, but I always go on a Saturday if that's the case. And then also other times, like if maybe there isn't any availability in the app, or, to have groceries delivered, or maybe if Zach offers to do the grocery shopping for us so that we save on those fees, then he'll do the grocery shopping for us. So I will make my list based on my meal plan and he will do the grocery shopping. The key to this, though, is that you are not spending hours all at one time to do every single step from meal planning all the way to the meal prepping. You're dividing those steps out so that they are in bite-sized digestible chunks, right? Like individual tasks, because then it doesn't take up quite as much time and you're more likely to stick to that type of system or routine. Now, the second time management system that I want to recommend to you is a morning and evening routine. So my morning routine is actually currently in the middle of fluctuating. I'm changing some things around. I do recommend evaluating your morning and your evening routines on a quarterly basis, because as working moms, our life looks so different every quarter. Q3, which is summertime, is so different than Q4, which is the holidays, right? Which is so different than Q1, which is like that January, February, like March timeframe. So every quarter is so different for us. So I recommend evaluating your morning and evening routines on a quarterly basis. Right now, my morning routines are different depending on the day of the week. So I have 3 days during the week that I dedicate workout time in the morning. The other 2 days during the week, I will dedicate that to meditating or doing some additional journaling, or maybe I will sleep in on those days, or maybe I'll get a little bit of extra work done. In that morning routine, I also am doing some time management academy work. I'm also getting ready for the day, and I'm also helping to get Harper ready and walk her to the bus. I will say in the mornings, Zach is primary on Harper because I know that that is like my core time to get stuff done in my business. So the mornings are really his. The evenings, though, on the other hand, are more mine with Harper. So this is where we will work on dinner together. We'll do bath time together. Some evenings I have horseback riding on Mondays. Some evenings my mom takes Harper for dinner. Also, a lot of evenings Harper has soccer practice that starts at 5, so my mom takes her for that. So the evenings are really mine whenever it comes to Harper with like the bedtime routine. And I also like to have my routine of making sure that I shower at night, so I include that in there. My skincare routine, making sure that I'm dimming all of the lights. I'm doing that transition from the workday into the evening. And I really love that evening routine. The third system that I want to give you today, that is my absolute favorite, is having your weekly planning sessions on a Friday. Now, to me, this is, again, not to use a cliche, but this is truly a game changer. Because if you are waiting until Sunday to plan your week ahead, that can sometimes be the cause of the Sunday scaries, right? Where you get really stressed out about the week ahead because you know, like you're in the middle of planning it. So you're like, oh, I have so much that I have to try to fit into this week. Or some people wait until Monday mornings. And if you wait until Monday morning, you're already in the chaos, right? Like if you're spending the first hour of your day planning the rest of the week, you're missing that whole hour that you could just be starting the week with a game plan, knowing exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to accomplish, and how it's going to get done. So I recommend planning on a Friday. Now, here's why, outside of the reasons I just listed. I love Friday afternoons because, listen, we're just all going to be really honest. When it gets like 2:30 or 3, we are all kind of done. Like our brains are all kind of mush, right? From working all week. It is not the most productive time, but planning the week ahead is a very productive task to do, right? So it is a low brain power. You don't have to exert a lot of energy or brain energy to plan your week ahead, but it is a high ROI, a high value task. So when you do that on Friday afternoons, you are suddenly going from scrolling TikTok or Instagram, right? Trying to pass the time until 5 o'clock to now, if you are planning in the afternoon, say like from 4 to 5 every week, every Friday, or even like 3:30 to 4:30, you suddenly are doing a high ROI activity with low brain power. So you're being ultra productive, but you're not having to use your brain like if you were trying to do deep work or some of that like super focused work that you have to do on the job. Now, during my weekly planning sessions, I plan for my corporate job, I plan for my personal life, and I plan for my business. So this, I handle every single aspect of my life in my planning session. And I will say when I first started, it took me a little bit longer, But as I've done it and as I've created my time management system, now it takes me about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how busy the upcoming week is. And this is an entire section inside of Time Management Academy where I have created an actual agenda, like a checklist for you for your Friday planning session. So my clients, they love this session inside of Time Management Academy because you start to see that a Friday planning session is the glue that holds your entire system together. And it's really, really fun. I absolutely love it and I highly recommend it. So to recap, here are the 3 systems that I think are going to help you streamline your life and reduce stress as a working mom. Meal planning and meal prepping. So again, plan on Thursdays, order groceries on Friday to be delivered on Saturday, and meal prep on Sundays. I will also add here that if you need a midweek meal prep, you can do that on a Wednesday or a Thursday, depending on your schedule. The second system is having a morning and an evening routine. So opening your house and your brain and your energy in the morning, and then winding it down in the evening. And then the third one is the Friday planning session. So dedicating a little bit of time on Friday afternoons when most of the time you're not being super productive to plan for the week ahead is going to give you that high ROI activity for low brain power investment. Now, these systems are not only going to save you time, but they're also going to give you clarity and structure that you need to feel more in control of your day-to-day life. So start with one system this week and see how much easier it gets, and you can build on from there. Now, if you are ready to take your time management to the next level and you loved what you heard today, I highly suggest that you join my free Master Your Workweek Challenge. That is the best next step for you. You can sign up for that at theloradavis.com/workweek. And again, it is designed for you to create a to-do list system that is actually going to work for you as a working mom to help you eliminate decision fatigue and set the foundation for a productive and organized week. Remember, these systems don't have to be perfect. Start with one and build from there. I think you've got this, and I fully believe in you. I will see you in the next episode.